A private jet can cost anywhere between $2 and $200 million. This, of course, depends on size, range, model, all the custom fit-outs you do, and features. And for those of us who are frequent flyers, flying commercial, even if it's first class, is just not cutting it anymore. The long lines are bad enough, but the lack of personal touch to the suites and the fixed menus leave a lot to the imagination. So, given that $2 million could make your problems go away, you might think of investing in your own personal jet to take you around the world. But before you do that, you should know that $2 million isn't the only cost you're going to incur. Welcome back to our channel. Today we're going to take a look at how much private jets really cost. Before we begin, make sure you subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon so you never miss a video from us. According to Forbes, you need a private plane only if you fly more than 400 hours a year. But if you're just attracted to the high life and you want to give your friends and family an incredible experience, you can go ahead and buy one too. But regardless of where or how frequently you plan to fly, you'll be faced with substantial ongoing expenses. If you're going to buy a private jet, you might as well shell out for the very best. This means you can't settle for a $2 million plane. A good one will cost anywhere between $40 and $45 million at least. And even then, you're not even close to done. Since it's your jet, you'll have to personalize it. And we're not just talking monogrammed hand towels. Fully customized interiors will cost you about $30 to $35 million. And the wider-bodied planes will come to $90 million. But it's well worth it. You won't have to look far for designers either, since popular companies like Boeing and Airbus already have tie-ups with design firms specializing in interior works for planes. You can, of course, hire your own, which we imagine some have. Prince Al-Walid bin Talal, a Saudi businessman and philanthropist, has a private jet most people can't even dream of. A Turkish bath, a concert hall, and even a two-car garage for his Rolls Royces. The only thing stopping you is your imagination. But it's safe to say his customizations cost way more than $90 million. Not just for the plane, although that's pretty important too. Hull insurance will come to about $35,000, and a single limit liability will reach $12,500 for a total of $47,500. But this will vary according to the size of your plane, average flight hours, and how old it is. Buying a second-hand aircraft will run up the cost of insurance. Then, of course, there's the insurance for your pilot and other crew members. And of course, you aren't about to leave your multi-million-dollar investment out to brave rainy days or hot days if you live in Nevada or California, so you'll need to set aside some money for a hangar. If you're parking your plane in a hangar in LAX airport in Los Angeles, the cost comes to $160,000 per year, and smaller airports will run you about $80,000 to $85,000 a year. But you can always just build your own hangar at your home, that is if your house didn't come with it already. Building a hangar is $350 per square foot, and a small hangar is typically 810 square feet in total. So your own personal hangar will cost you close to $284,000, and the cost will run higher if you want to deck it out with a lounge and a bar as well, which, well, why wouldn't you? Another thing you'll have to account for is landing fees. That's right, every airport you land in, you're required to pay a landing fee. The prices vary between airports, and if it's a particularly busy airport, you can expect the cost to be higher. The money generated from landing fees goes to pay for maintenance of the airport and runway expansion, but you will be provided with your own gate and check-in facilities as part of the fee. If you're just stopping by to refuel, you won't have to pay, but most airports charge between $100 to $500 per touchdown if you plan to stay a while. The most expensive airport to touch down in is Tokyo. The landing fees here come to a jaw-dropping $7,000. Then, of course, there's the refueling. Fueling up a jet is not like fueling up your car for a quick trip. You might need a savings account just for gas. Smaller, more popular jets will take less gas, but also give you less miles. But in their strive to be more eco-friendly, the newer Boeing jets offer a good range for less fuel. But in any case, a private plane typically takes 7,000 gallons of fuel. That's going to cost you about $14,000. If you're going to jet across the world, you're going to need a crew to wait on you to ensure you have a comfortable ride. Sure, it's a private jet, but the pressure of flying 30,000 feet in the air is still the same, so you'll need a crew that eases the tension. It's important not to look for a bargain here, because the pilot of your plane will be responsible for your life. A pilot generally earns $120,000 a year, and a flight stewardess makes $60,000 a year. Let's not forget, one of the perks of flying in your own jet is not having to deal with a prefixed menu made by a catering company. You have the luxury of having a private chef on board, which will cost you an additional $70,000 to $80,000 a year. Your costs will easily go up over the $200,000 mark, but it won't include your cruise expenses and overnight stays. If you plan to stay in a different city overnight, your crew will need accommodation vacation too, and you'll have to bear the cost of that, plus give them a spending allowance for food and sightseeing, and all of that comes out of your pocket. Another recurring expense is of de-icing your plane. It is to remove ice, snow, and frost from the surface. The chemical used to do it also delays ice from reforming or prevents ice from sticking to the body, so removal becomes easier. It keeps your plane looking and performing like a brand new jet. Airports usually provide the service for about $200. For another $30, you can preheat the aircraft before takeoff. But de-icing isn't the only maintenance work you'll have to do. Once a jet is out of warranty, maintenance fees will be paid out of the owner's pocket. Regularly flying at over 500 miles an hour is bound to take a toll on your jet, and it's likely to suffer some wear and tear. Typically, the frequency of maintenance checks depends on the aircraft. Still, preventive maintenance should be performed on an aircraft that flies 25 hours or less, and minor maintenance should be performed after 100 hours of flying. Depending on the climate, operation, and storage facilities, these hours can come down or go up. General maintenance should be performed regularly, while unexpected repairs should also be accounted for. Everything from inspection and overhaul to upgrades and modifications will cost you anywhere between $700,000 to $4 million. The cost will vary according to the plane's model and the kind of repair work required, but even a cracked window or a windshield can run up to $45,000 to $70,000. A burst tire can cost you $2,000 to $3,000. And let's not forget the cleaning cost too. You can't have your interiors looking old and worn out. You can do this anywhere, but the state where your jet is registered will have its own set of requirements for the mechanical works. Now, one way to get your money back is to make your jet available for others to charter. But keep in mind that if you're renting it out, you'll need to pay a company to manage that for you. So, what does the cost finally come to? Well, it's hard to give a number. There are way too many variables, from the aircraft's age and size to where you land and run maintenance checks. But one thing's for sure, it won't be cheap. Still want to buy a jet? Or do you prefer renting one? It's definitely cheaper, and you don't have to bear the costs and conditions of regular checks. You get the one-of-a-kind experience of flying in absolute privacy with none of the commitment. Large leather seats, giant screen TVs, free onboard Wi-Fi, the list goes on. Chartering a private jet will cost you only about $1,300 to $3,000 an hour for a smaller jet, $4,000 to $8,000 for a mid-sized jet suitable for 9 passengers, and $8,600 to $13,000 an hour for a larger jet that can seat 14 to 19 passengers. Definitely not your average ticket price when flying first class, but cheaper than owning your own jet. But there are disadvantages too. Costs aside, arranging a private jet can be quite a hassle. They don't have fixed takeoff and landing times like commercial jets, so chances are you'll run late. And if the owner chooses not to rent to you, you have no option but to let go of the plane you thought was the perfect fit for your event. Seems like having your own jet will incur costs, but will also make your life a lot easier. Think you'll shell out a couple $1,000,000 for an incredible and customized travel experience? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button and check out more on the King Luxury channel. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.